Good morning. It's such a beautiful day. I thought I'd try something a little different and bring you outside here at Crystal Lake. People are always asking me, why did you move back to Connecticut? And I thought I'd let you see why. This is about as idyllic a surroundings for a writer that you can imagine. It's a beautiful day here. I'm going to try to show you a little bit before I get started with my questions from Danette at Danette's Chatting Lounge, just to give you an idea if the sun's not too bright for it to come out. I'm sitting on the end of my dock, and yes, there's my cup of coffee down there somewhere. Is it showing? There we go. There's my cup of coffee and some bread that I actually brought out to feed the fish. There's the lake. Let's see. Different directions around to the lake. Okay. Next door neighbors with all their boats. They have lots of kids and lots of messy things there. There's this big rock that's between me and my cottage. And let's back up at my cottage. There's kind of a lot of pieces of the dock and debris here because last winter what happens is when the lake freezes up and the big ice sheet moves across the lake, it kind of sometimes it kind of tears the docks apart, and it did, and we haven't repaired it yet. It's just sitting here, but it needs to be put. We need some carpentry work out here. Okay, Danette does a thing called the Fabulous Fives, and she starts off, she has all these questions, and the answers are in groups of 5. And she says 5 words and or phrases that describe you. Boy, the sun is so bright out here that it's actually reflecting off this piece of paper and hurting my eyes. 5 words or phrases that describe you. Well, busy. I like to think witty, and I like to think funny, and I'd say sardonic. I used to be sarcastic, but I've graduated. And adventurous. I like to try new things and do things I've never done before. I get that from my mother, and I'll talk about her in a minute, because the next thing it says 5 people and or things that inspire you. And the one thing is the memory of my late mother. She lived a very sheltered life, was married when she was 21, and even when she became a widow, though, she kind of never been anywhere or done anything, her attitude about anything she'd never tried before was, where do I sign up? And I hope that I keep that attitude my whole life. Oh, there's my kitty. Oscar, do you want to be in the video? No? Here, let's say hello to Oscar. Oscar? The sun is so bright I can't really see if I'm giving you a good picture of Oscar. Oscar, say hello. No, Oscar doesn't want to say hello. Never mind. Other people, the 5 other people, is I just have to do a category of my fellow writers, including my critique partners. And then I have 2 friends. Sometimes you're lucky in life to know people that it's really a privilege to have met. And I have 2 friends that fall into that category. One is my friend Maria, and the other is my friend Matthew. And I hope that they see this and they know, because they're really examples of what friendship can be. And then anybody, for the 5th thing, I had a hard time picking a person, anyone who succeeds against the odds. I cry at Olympic medal ceremonies. I love movies like Rudy and The Rookie because they're real people that did something that everybody said was impossible. 5 of your favorite authors. And I hate this because I'm going to think of something the second that the video is uploaded. But I know I've mentioned James Lee Burke before. Stephen King, and some people say, oh, Stephen King's a hack. Well, look at my partner at the Deadline, Dave's, my fellow Dave's comment that hack is a good thing. Stephen King, for getting inside of people's heads, he can really make you believe that you know a character. For romance, I have 2 romance authors I like. One is Jenny Cruzy, who makes me laugh, and the other is Kristen Higgins, for similar reasons. They write about real people, not idealized people. I like that. And then for the 5th, I'm going to have to say, this is hard. Anyone who makes me laugh. I've laughed out loud at Janice Mott Davidson recently. I was reading Sarah Wendell and Candy Tam's book, Beyond Heaving Bosoms, and laughed out loud at that. Janet Ivanovich kills me. Elizabeth Peters kills me. These people just make me laugh, so I like that. Okay, describe 5 of your heroes or heroines through your eyes. Okay, I'll start off with some characters from Cry Mercy because that is, after all, why we're here. Because this is the Cry Mercy book tour. Okay. And we'll start off with Mercy. Mercy's tough, and she thinks she keeps people at a distance in order to protect them, but really she's doing it to protect herself. We'll start off with her. And then I'll mention Suki, who's Mercy's sidekick. And Suki's biggest problem is that she underestimates herself. She's an optimist, that's good. And I'll give you a little clue about book 4 in the Mercy Hollings series. It's going to be all about Suki. Then we'll mention Tino, since Tino figures very heavily in Cry Mercy. Tino is smart and ambitious, and in his neighborhood he became a street gang leader because that was the most obvious path to success where he grew up. But now that he's seen a taste of life outside of the barrio, you know, who knows what he'll do. And Sam. Sam is a very sexy alpha male in beta male's clothing. There's a Bonnie Raitt song that has a line that says he's like a boxer who had to retire after winning but killing a man. And that always makes me think of Sam. There's something going on with Sam where he's very consciously mild-mannered, but you just know that there's something underneath. And so that's 4. So for the 5th, I'm going to have to go back to an earlier book. And I know I'm always talking about this book, Men in Chains. I'll hold it up here. By Virginia Reed. That's my pen name when I'm writing romance. And I mention it because it is the first book I wrote, and it's the book of my heart. And I think the reason I still get so much fan mail for it is because of the character, Delinda. She is a revolutionary. She's determined, and she's ambitious. She's going to take over the leadership of a country and completely replace their entire social system. That's a pretty big goal. People love Delinda. She struggles against the odds and does pretty well. Okay, and 5 reasons to read your books. Well, first, because I have to buy cat food. It's very important. Oscar, you know, he puts up with me, but if the food stops coming, he might look for someplace else to live. Second is because I hope that a little bit like Stephen King, and I hesitate to mention myself and Stephen King in the same sentence, but that's my goal, is to get you deeply into the heads of characters and make you really feel as if you know them. For the Mercy series, you should read it for a couple of reasons. One is that it has a really strong sense of place, and I've had people tell me that after reading it they want to go visit Balboa, California, and some actually have. And also, if you like paranormal stories, but you'd like a break from creatures, this is it. I don't do werewolves and vampires. I love werewolves and vampires. I just don't write them well. So this is kind of paranormal light. There's supernatural stuff going on, but it's things like telepathy, and Mercy's got the ability to compel people to obey her. And in the 4th book, I'm introducing a character who is telekinetic. And 5, the 5th reason you should buy my books is because it will make my agent Miriam very, very happy.